What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. Big shout out to my doggy Martin Skirsis for coming through and boosting up the coin. So, we got some crazy news for you, man, right now regarding Andy Lee, Usyk Parker, and Daniel Dubois. Listen, I'll set the scene for you, man, right quick. Yeah? Bash! Don Charles, Daniel Dubois' trainer, came out and was saying, Joe Parker, you're lucky, you was proper getting it. That's what he said. At the same time, what Don Charles didn't say was, you was lucky you missed this one. But Frank Warren's, in fact, they got the same promoter now. Joe Parker's promoted by Frank Warren, so it's an email away. Yeah, what Don Charles should have said, if he's going to run his mouth so much, I like Dubois. I mean, I think I'm not going to gamble on the fight now. I don't know. Joe Parker might be on, to tell the truth here. Spiritually, I'll back Dubois, but still. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, people, Don Charles talked a bunch. Yeah, Joe Parker, you're lucky. We picked you. You're sweet. We was going to proper fill you in, like you wouldn't believe. What he didn't say was, and on that basis, Frank Warren, he'd been sent you an email 3 weeks ago. You haven't answered it. Yeah? You can't do that, in my opinion. You can't say what you would have done and then off somewhere else. There's no point doing that. Just say, listen, we were sick and we're moving on. Don't run your mouth like you're some gangster, right? I get it, he's bent out of shape because people are saying he's on the gear, people are saying he's ducked and whatever else. The only way to quell those narratives, not that they care, Don Charles already said, whoa, it's to fight business, 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 business. Business, 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 Usyk, more money, business. That's what he said. But from a spiritual point of view, speaking from the boxing gods, they're not interested in some moody shekels. You can't take that with you. You can't take moody shekels to the gates of Valhalla. No good. So from the boxing gods' points of view, you got to send a contract at least. Who knows? Maybe Parker can fight Usyk anyway. It could be a good bluff for Team Dubois. Right? If Team Dubois find out that the Parker and Usyk fight's definitely happening and they can't stop it, they might as well send a contract. It makes them look good. But they haven't sent no contract, no how. Which is off key, in my opinion. Now, on that basis, Andy Lee's come out and he's aired out Team Dubois. Went all the way in. Here's the bars. Bash.
And yeah, it was. Now we were disappointed because that night he should have been crowned two-time world champion. And there's been no, I know there's been some things since then, but there's been no real proof of the illness of Daniel Dubois. I don't know what proof you're going to get anyway, but it is suspicious when that day, even the next day, they're talking about him fighting Usyk. Of course you'd be thinking, they've got wind of this. They heard that the Usyk fight might happen, and why risk fighting Joseph, who's in great form? So that's what we believe happened. We don't know what really happened, but that's what I think happened.
We believe they flappled it. That's what we believe. And it has to be said, Andy Lee mentions, there's no proof and how would you even get proof? But what's important here is there was a fighter on the card who was supposed to fight Shakur Sleepvinson. I forgot his name. Some stiff. He's useless. No good. Floyd Schofield. Yeah? Floyd talking too much field. He pulled out, but the difference was the doctors, for whatever reason, they said he's not fit to fight. In Dubois' case, it was actually Dubois. The doctor said you probably shouldn't fight, but you can. He wasn't pulled from fighting. So, as much as that information's worth, Team Dubois' Team Dubois bottled it, right? The doctor didn't say, like Schofield. Schofield was told, you can't fight. Dubois was told, you can fight, it's up to you, but I wouldn't advise it. Oops. So, on that basis alone, he wasn't sick enough for the doctors to write him off. That said, in my opinion, Floyd Schofield, the guy who bottled it and got officially written off by the people's them, he's a pussy. Yeah, he'd have been in there. Oh, Romeo. Oh, help thee not have to fight so I can talk on Twitter some more. That's what Schofield was doing in the hospital bed. Oh, yeah. To be fair to Dubois, the reason these doctors, there's no test actually they can give you which will say it's not a objective process. Yeah, most doctors in these situations, they're going by what you tell them. Yeah? So Dubois would have gone in there, I believe. He wasn't on the Floyd Schofield. Oh, I'm too sick, doc. Oh, I feel like I've got stage 4. I'm in the last hours of my life. Please don't make me fight. Dubois would have been there, stoic, I believe, saying I'm not feeling great, and the doctor's like, well, you know what I mean? You have to give, in these situations, you have to almost put the doctors in a situation they can't refuse, i.e., I can't barely stand up type shit. Dubois wouldn't have done that. So, based on what the fact Dubois didn't proper lay it on thick, the doctor wasn't prepared to strike him off officially. At the same time, internally speaking, biologically speaking, he may have been as sick as Schofield, to be honest. The only difference was he wasn't laying it on thick like Schofield was in the hospital and shit, like pretending he's in a coma. What a weirdo. This world's full of weirdos, man. Especially the new age, man. Proper weirdos. That said, it doesn't exonerate Dubois. Again, I'm not saying you should fight if you're sick. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. What I am saying is, send a contract, man. That's the least you can do. Yeah? If your career, Dubois got money. He got paid $4 million or $2 million to fight a proper stiff Trevor Bumman, like 2 years ago. He's had the Usyk fight. He's had the AJ fight. He's got the coins now. Yeah? That money will last him the rest of his life. And he's only 27. He's going to have more fights. Even if he lost to Parker, he can rebuild again and come again. No doubt about it. So, it shouldn't really be about money at this point. Obviously, that's easy for me to say because I'm not involved. But you were going to fight him, weren't you? You picked him voluntarily. So pick him again voluntarily. And someone mentioned a good point about the contract. I said it before, but the contracts, they should be binding, man. Sickness and injury shouldn't. Oh, I'm sick. Oops. Off to the next one. Yeah? I don't know who's writing these contracts. The contract should always say, voluntary or not. If Joseph Parker's committed 3 months, spent his resources on a camp for you, and it's only because Turkey's the only reason that saved Parker. Parker would have been a couple $100,000 in the hole for training expenses. In a normal situation, right? The fight would have been cancelled and that would have been it. So it's only because Turkey's come through and put Bakoli in there that Parker's been able to remedy the situation. Outside of that, he'd have been in the hole. So I don't understand who writes these contracts. How's that right? How is it right for someone, oh, I'm sick now. Sorry, mate. See you later. Forget about it. It should be, if you're sick, that's fine. We're rescheduling. And what such a clause would do, what a guaranteed rescheduling clause would do, it would actually reduce people's willingness to pull out sick, to pull out injured. Because they're thinking, well, I can pull out injured now, I can pull out sick now, but I got to fight him anyway. So it almost eviscerates the duck clause. Oh, I hurt my little toe. Oh, Dillian White. Oh, I scratched my finger. Oh, I've scratched my finger so I can't box. And now I've left Joe Joyce holding the bag, having to fight Hergovich. That's not right, man. Reschedule the fight. Yeah, if you pull out, reschedule it. Yeah, if you scratch Dillian White, if you scratch your finger, yeah, do what you signed up to do. There's too much of this shit. It's irritating me. You signed a contract as a grown ass man. Yeah? Oh, I scratched my finger. Oh, I'm not feeling well. Oh, I got out on the left side of the bed rather than the right side of the bed. That's fine. You do running it again. And what you'd find is people's propensity to want to pull out, no doubt, it doesn't increase it, does it? People aren't going to want to pull out more if they know they've got to fight the guy anyway. It can only benefit the sport. There should be no clause once you've signed. Now, I get it. Well, Parker was a voluntary. We didn't have to. Fine. Don't then. You should have done that 3 months ago. 3 months ago you should have said, Parker, you're a voluntary. I'm not engaging in no contractual obligations with you. I'm picking someone else. Do that then. This cucking of the fans and cucking of... It's just messy. It's not a good look. It's really not a good look. I'm sorry. I don't care what you've got lined up. Oh, we've got Usyk lined up. You should have... Listen, if you wanted to fight Usyk, yeah, you should have been posted up and waited for him. That's what you should have done. Yeah? And if you signed to fight Parker. And Don Charles is saying, hey, fill him in. Yeah? So fill him in. That's what you need to do. And let Kabayel fight Usyk, which is the real fight, to be honest. Kabayel's got the best chance out of Dubois, Parker, and... Kabayel, Dubois, Parker, Kabayel all day and night. Too big, too strong. He'll walk straight onto him. Seriously. The shots will bounce off and he'll work the body. People, he'll work the body. He'll work the body. You've never seen anything like it. If you think Dubois did Usyk wrong, wait to see Kabayel. Kabayel will chop him down. Seriously. like a cruiserweight tree. That's what it will do. You best believe it. People, listen. Usyk. I like Usyk. Usyk has Sean Porter problems, fact, in the amateurs. That's Sean Porter. Kabayel's way too big, way too strong, way too gnarly in there. He'll walk in there like this. Walk in there and go straight on him. Usyk's legs are going to burn out after 6 rounds. Yeah? Because Fury couldn't burn out Usyk's legs. Why? He weren't pressuring. Kabayel is going to burn his legs out. Seriously. Yeah? Because in heavyweight times, I've got to be honest, no man has pressured Usyk. Yeah? And Kabayel would... Listen, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Usyk will turn Kabayel into a ballet room dancer. If that happened, Usyk for me is one of the greatest, probably top 3 greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time. Because the rest of these men are pussies. Dubois was Usyk was bullying Dubois for most of that fight. AJ, same situation. Usyk was pressuring Fury, AJ, Dubois. Yeah? Kabayel, he ain't pressuring nothing. So Usyk's legs are going to burn out. His 38-year-old leg is going to burn out. And he's going to be fish food. He gets stopped. Kabayel will stop Usyk to the body. Seriously. Oops. He's free for free. He's free for free stopping dudes to the body. And these men ain't even known to have a soft body. Zhang ain't known to have a soft body. Like that. Yeah? Frank, soft body, Fidel Castro, Sanchez. He ain't known to have a soft body. Kabayel will touch a soft body. What's Turkey doing, man? Turkey, that's one of your mans. Put him on. I don't want to see Dubois versus Usyk. I just don't want to see it, man. Dubois too leaky-deaky, man. Dubois too straight down the middle. He's going to get put off. He's going to get dissuaded. Kabayel's going in there, yeah, like this, rocking and rolling, chin stuck on his chest, and he's going to touch the body like you wouldn't believe. People, Usyk was crying about AJ's moody pot shots to the body. Ow. Look at the referee. Stop playing with me. He was crying about Dubois' moody body shot, AJ's moody body shot, Fury's moody... But Fury can't punch, man. None of these men are prolific body punchers. And he was complaining, look at the referee. What's he going to do with Kabayel? Yeah? They'll have 3 referees in that ring. I tell you now, if Kabayel versus Usyk was made, the only way that fight gets made is if Usyk is allowed to have three referees in there. They'll have a specific body referee. Yeah, with a ruler out. Ooh! Leonardo DiCaprio, me. Ooh! Kabayel, we're taking a point off because you was 1 centimetre below this moody point of his body. That's what they'll do. That's the only way Usyk survives that fight. I like Usyk. His body's soft. Documented, man. His body's way too soft. Beterbiev dropped him to the body. Kabayel will chew his body up. And Usyk, what's you can do with Kabayel? Yeah? Zhang hit him with his best shot and it bounced off and he jumped straight back up. And then finished him a round or 2 later. What's Usyk going to do, man? He'll do nothing in there. I like Usyk. He'll do nothing. I like him, yeah, but he'll do nothing in there. Kabayel's way too big, way too strong. He'll walk straight onto him. It'll be, honestly, I'm telling you now, people, Usyk was goosed against Fury's big, slow, stiff, useless looking ass. He was goosed, right? He was goosed in the... Yes, AJ, Fury and Dubois were useless at that point in time. That's fair to say. They got no gas. They're absolutely blowing after 5-6 rounds. Usyk was hanging on in that second AJ fight. He was hanging on in there. He was proper like... Fair play to him, he's a small guy, but he was all pedal to the metal. That's AJ. He's got no ambition. He's not about it. Never mind the bodiness. Come on, people. That's what I want as Turkey, man. What's the point coming in the game and giving us one? I don't want to see Dubois versus Usyk. I'm not interested, man. I'm just not. I can't get hard for it. I'll back Dubois because the odds are good, but I can see him getting boxed up. Kabayel, I don't see what Usyk going to do. He'd have to turn into... I might tell a lie. He might be able to Erislandy Lara his way through it. That's how it'd have to look. But I think his legs will get tired. Seriously. I think his legs will get tired after 7 rounds. His legs were tired in the Fury fights. And that's Fury. Fury was applying no pressure, man. Seriously. He'll be absolutely hanging. Look at the other southpaw, Frank Sanchez. Frank Sanchez is known for cardio for days, good footwork. What happened to that? He was out there in 6-7 rounds. Popped him. The body shots. So if Usyk's goosed, yeah, against Fury, who ain't doing nothing, what's he can do with Kabayel, who's been touching his body? Oops. He gets stopped. Seriously. That's what we want to see, Turkey. I don't want to see Dubois. I don't want to see no other stiff... I don't even want to see Parker in there. Parker can't punch like that. He can't. He's not going to catch Usyk with a look at the floor and bowl the overhand. He's not going to catch him with that. I need something that's sustainable. Yeah? This guy is stopping people to the body. Get him in there with Usyk. Turkey. Come on. It's bare annoying. Anyway, back to the point here. There's some more bars from Andy Lee.
But Joe enhanced his reputation and enhanced his career by going in with Bacoli and beating him and taking care of business.
Listen, I hear what you're saying, and from your side, I'm sure people watching this can totally understand that you haven't seen any sort of documents or proof of illness. What I would say to that in counter response, we were, told that the British Boxing Board of Control, a doctor and a Saudi doctor looked at him, and the board actually pulled him out.
That's a lie. That's cap. That's documented cap. Look at this box. Oh, this is the Box Nation site, people. That's cap, categorically. The doctor did not pull him out. That's a lie. What are you lying for? Yeah? Let's get this up right now. That's bare annoying, these company men. Oh, well, I'll tell you. You tell lies, what you're doing. The doctor did not pull him out. He was advised. Don Charles even said that. His doctor advised him. Daniel Dubois, advised by doctor. He wasn't pulled out at all. That's cap. Yeah? Big cap. Here we go. That's cap as well. They're lying everywhere. Doctors refused to clear IBF despite not feeling... This is Reddit, but trust me, man, I heard this one here. That's just full of cap on here, man. This is all cap. I swear down to you, man. It's bare cap. Pure cap on here. Here we go. Oops. So let me cover this now, because it's bare annoying. All this kind of Kabayel shillery going on right now. Yeah, I can't deal with it. So you got all these moody channels. Yeah, look at these moody channels here. Look. Give Me Sport says doctors refused to clear IBF heavyweight champion. Cap. Yeah? So let's look at some more cap here. The Sun, on the 20th of Feb. Dubois was deemed medically unfit to compete by doctors. Cap. Yeah? There's a bunch of cappers. And then 2-2s on the 28th. Daniel Dubois' own dad. Yeah? Daniel Dubois' own dad. Let's find the bars. Where are the bars here? Yeah? IBF champion's dad, Dave. I thought his name was Stanley Dubois. That's mad. Anyway, Stan Dubois, let's call him that. Okay. Told the Ring magazine exactly what happened. Stan Dubois said, fight week was going well until he became ill. Everything was perfect and he started feeling unwell a couple days before. Here we go. You ready for this one here? Yeah. He had a virus. He had swollen glands and an ear infection. And his left pinky toe fell off as well. Well, just throw it in there. Since you're throwing everything at the wall, just throw some more things on there, man. Come on. He had a virus, his swollen glands, ear infection, hepatitis C and B. Fucking hell, man. How many more ailments do you have to put in here? Jesus, people. See, listen, here's the bars. Anyway, these are the quotes. I'm not even making them up. You can read them here on your screen if you're not, unless you're blind. He had a virus. He had swollen glands and an ear infection. So the doctor told him, I wouldn't fight if I was you. The doctor said, you can fight, but after 3 rounds, you'll be feeling it. That is not. Look at all these moody websites. Oh, yeah, no, he's pulled off. He was not pulled off. So when you see this moody Box Nation, Kabayel saying, oh, well, actually, I'll let you know, Andy Lee, that he was actually pulled out by doctors. That's a lie. His own dad said it wasn't that. And I'm not sitting here saying, hey, Dubois should go in there spark sick. But let's tell the truth here. He was not written off by the doctors. Yeah? Okay, look, so Dubois' dad's now said as well. Next, Dubois wants Usyk. It's frustrating about the Parker fight, but he couldn't fight with infection. Usyk is who we're going after next. So it looks messy, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. It just doesn't. For an old school yardie, I expected more. I get it. This is the problem with money to some extent. Oh, it's the money. That's all you have to say these days. There is no like, oh, handshake, I'm fighting you. There's none of that. It's like, oh well, the money. Oh, but YB, you're broke. Oh, but YB. Ooh, money. You can call it that, but again, I'm telling you right now, you ain't making it to Valhalla with that kind of mentality. Yeah? All these biblical man, oh, this, ooh. You can't pass through the eye of a needle, people. Yeah, that's what you can't do. Fight Joseph Parker, man. Yeah? Fight Joseph Parker. Is what you signed up to do. You ain't passing through the eye of the needle. You best believe it. Anyway, let's get back to the bars from this cornball. I'll replay it for the shill. Listen to this shill, the Box Nation shill, jobber.
We were, told that the British Boxing Board of Control, a doctor and a Saudi doctor, looked at him, and the board actually pulled him out of the fight. Daniel, according to
Two doctors now. How many more doctors? Oh, actually, he was seen by 7 doctors, and they all said he's proper writ off, and it's terminal, so he can't fight. That's a lie, Umar. Umar, stop lying, man. Company man looking at. Stop lying. It's not what happened. His own dad said it didn't happen that way. Stop playing. It's annoying.
Their team wanted to carry on. And I guess another.
Oh, his team wanted to carry on, but the doctors pulled him out. Oh, actually, it's the opposite. The doctors didn't pull him out, and his team didn't want to carry on. That's the truth. Now, I'm not again. It's not me saying, oh, YB, he shouldn't fight sick. I'm not saying he should, but tell the truth. Yeah, if I'm fighting someone and I pull out, and I've pulled out, and the doctor hasn't pulled me off, I'll say, listen, man, I pulled out. Yeah, I had hepatitis B and C. Oops. Yeah, that's what I'd say. This is what happened. You can't do that, man. You can't do it. Oh, I'm pulling out. Oh, no, it was definitely doctors, even though it wasn't doctors. Everyone's trying to shift kind of responsibility. And it wasn't me. I swear down. I was bang on it. But then the doctors. Come on, people. Come on.
The counter argument to that is, I guess he has gone through a whole camp. A lot of costs are incurred. You will know as a trainer yourself, Andy. So do you see that counter argument that that could have been genuine illness?
You might have been feeling ill. Listen, you might have been feeling ill. But I would say that's down to his preparation. When you arrive into Saudi Arabia a week before and you're training every day, we went there 3 weeks before. We experienced camp. And I'm not saying they're not experienced.
That's a good point, to be fair. I'm shocked, I am shocked about the situation. I've never understood this. Now, if you're broke, yeah, I get it. If you're broke and you're doing a little camp, you can't afford necessarily to go and stay in Saudi Arabia in a hotel for $1,000 a night for a few hotel rooms, right, for your whole team. But if you're on, like Dubois, I'd be there a month early, seriously. There's no harm getting there a month early at all. What are you in London for? The weather sucks at this time of year as well, so you can be freezing your tits off in the UK for what? Get to the arena. If I'm a top level fighter, yeah, I'm getting to the arena a month early. Seriously. Do half your camp out there. Why not? Why would you not? You don't want to be flying a week before. Especially to Saudi, it's like 4 different flights. It takes a day to do it. That's ridiculous. Get there a month early, man. 3 weeks at the least. Seriously. There's an argument, you do your whole camp out there. Just be proper, just on it. It becomes part of where you are, kind of thing. Travelling and that. A week before? Really? Don Charles talking too much. What are you doing flying out a week before? What scientists they got on this team? Or anyone with a brain in their head? Unless you can't afford it, everyone should be flying out really as long as possible. I can't, especially in these times of Saudi, they've got all the gyms and that. It's all patterned. It's not like you're going to be in the back arse of nowhere where it's like, well, we've got no equipment and that. It's all going to be there. Turkey put you man on. Give you your own gym and shit out there. Why would you not take the opportunity to train UK for what, man? And from what I understand, Daniel Dubois has got his own little gym. It's like a garage. So it's like, what's the difference? You're training at a garage on your own, essentially. So do that in Saudi is what I'd be advising. Full stop. Get used to the water, all the food, whatever you're doing. Get used to the whole lot of it. Time zone, sleep schedules. Get used to every single part of it. As long as possible. If I remember correctly, when you're in the Olympics, they don't fly you out a week before you start racing. They do like holding camps. They're out there like 6, 7, 8 weeks before the Olympics. For that reason. What's Don Charles doing, man? A week before? That's nuts. Come on.
But there's ways to do things, especially when you're traveling. Now it's only a 3-hour time difference to adjust to, but it's a long flight, and it takes a toll on your body. And it's a whole new environment, and you've got to prepare for that. And well, who's the doctor? Who's the doctor? No, we haven't heard from the doctor. Well, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to change anything. And
we haven't heard from the doctor. We haven't heard from him. Because if we did hear from him, Mr. Umar, Shilmar, IFL Shilmar. If we heard from the doctor, guess what he'd tell you? He'd tell you, like Dan Dubois told us, yes. He'd tell you, you can fight, but you might be a bit tired. Oops. He wouldn't tell you, oh no, he was wrote off, proper man. He could barely walk. Yeah, and the guy who couldn't walk, Daniel Dubois, he in Brazil right now. Yeah? That's what he in. That's how sick he was. Seriously, he pulled out on Friday night or whenever it was. And on Monday, he's in Brazil. Swear down to you, man. That's the facts. So he wasn't that sick. Because the last thing I want to do when I'm sick is be sitting on a plane, flying from here to London to Brazil. So there's signs here now. He's minding in his work anymore, Dubois. He's got the coins, 10 mil, 20 mil probably, knocking around. He's got the coins have landed, and he's thinking, bash, I'm on. 2 Brazilian baddies, 2 BBL chicks next to him. Yeah, the original BBL as well, not the moody Turkey one. He got 2 BBL tings, natural BBL tings next to him. Yeah, probably 2 Lana Coco as well, to tell the truth, man. South America and that. The finest Pablo Escobar stash from 1980s. Each one of them. That's what the evidence is telling me. His mind's not in his work, man. His mind's in Brazil. His mind's in 2 Sniffler. His mind's everywhere, but not filling in the jobber from New Zealand, which is where it should be, man. Yeah? This is where it should be. He playing somewhere. Come on.
The money that you spend in camp, well, you're going to make twice as much money to fight Usyk. You know, you just take it on the chin. Because the risk, if you're not feeling great, fighting Joseph and losing to him, losing your title, you're just going to take it on the chin, that money that you've lost. You're just going to eat it up, just put down as an expense and an experience.
So even though the WBO have ordered that fight with Alexander Usyk and yourself, not yourself, your man, Joseph Parker, from what you're saying here, Andy, are you thinking that the Usyk Dubois fight still happens even though that fight's been ordered?
Yeah, and nobody knows what's going to... Well, nobody knows. There's rumours flying around that they're talking to each other to try and make that fight with Dubois and Usyk. But our preference is to fight Usyk, and we commend Gustavo at the WBO for ordering this fight.
And this is the problem as well, by the way, people. With one promoter having... Well, there's pros and cons, obviously, but there's clearly a conflict of interest issue here with one promoter having all the fighters. This was the same when Dubois still is, promoted by Frank Warren and Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce beats Dubois, and yet Dubois is given all the opportunity. Dubois is given I don't believe Joe Joyce has ever made $2 million in a night. Never mind to fight a stiff. I think the most he cracked is 800 grand or 900 grand against Parker or Zhang. I don't know. That's the most. Dubois gets beat by Joe Joyce. Dubois then gets to fight for the WBA regular against Trevor Bowman for like 2 or 4 mil. Crazy amounts of money. Why wasn't Joe Joyce given that put on? Given that he is older / he beat Dubois. Instead, he's out here fighting Parker and all. At the time, Parker was a nobody. Fighting Parker and what's his name? Zhang. Conflict of interest is what we saw in Joe Joyce versus Frank Warren, and now we're seeing it again to some extent. You got Frank Warren plotting, cucking Joe Parker, and sucking Dubois off. Yeah. So this is the issue we have now. And to some extent, I hope that Turkey gets rid of the promoters. Because Turkey's not going to be politicking like that, I don't believe. He's not going to be making an event and then cucking himself. When he makes an event, he'll expect that event to happen. It's these snidey promoters in the back, sitting back in the cut, with the dark shades and the cap on, plotting. Yeah? That's who it is. This was a Frank Warren plot. Clearly. Because Dubois pulled out, man. Frank Warren, it's a bit like... Joe Joyce beat Dubois, so Frank Warren should be, meritocratically speaking, backing Joe Joyce. He didn't. Dubois pulls out. Meritocratically speaking, Frank Warren should be backing Joseph Parker. Instead, because we know, historically, Frank Warren's got the best patterns with the WBO. That's how he got Billy Joe most of his moody world title shots against Stiflers, vacant titles. He's known to be with the WBO. But yet, he's sucking off Dubois. I'm not knocking Dubois, but this is this. We have to deal with the facts here. It's not a good look, and he's done nothing to solve it. Oh, we're moving on now. What happens next time? You get a big opportunity. Are you sick again? Are you flying to Colombia or Brazil again? We don't know. Anyway, people, let me know your thoughts. One sec.
Because I think Joe deserves the fight. Joe deserves the fight, and I think it puts Usyk in a not difficult. Like no one can doubt Usyk's credibility or his reputation because of the fights he's had and what he's done in those fights. But if he opts to fight Dubois and vacate his title, someone who he's already beaten and beaten pretty comfortably, and decides not to fight Joseph, that doesn't look too good for him. That's all I would say. It doesn't look too good for him from the fans' point of view, And from a fighter's point,
Yeah, to some extent, if WBO, I'm not sure WBO are going to strip Usyk, to be fair, because we know there's a unification clause that allows the WBO, if they choose to allow a champion to keep his belt whilst he unifies. So I'm not sure he'll have to drop the belt. But if Usyk does drop the belt, it does pose the question: why would you drop one belt to gain another one, right? From Dubois, they both have the same value. If the WBO are going to strip Usyk, Usyk's in a position where it doesn't matter who he fights. He can fight Dubois and win potentially 3 belts, or he can fight Parker and win potentially 3 belts. Makes no difference. So we need the WBO to step up. But if I know Frank Warren is going to be saying the opposite to the WBO, oh yeah, Frank Warren will be on the blower to the WBO saying, I spoke to Joe Parker and he's fine with it. Yeah, let Usyk keep his belt. No, I spoke to Joe for sure. I represent Joe Parker, sorry. I spoke to Joe, yeah, and he told me, please let Usyk keep his belt so Dubois can fight for it. That's what Frank won't be on. Yeah, no, listen, WBO. I am the executor for Joseph Parker, and I'm telling you now, Joe Parker is more than happy. He's really great. In fact, not even happy. He wants you. Joe Parker wants to pay you $50,000 so that Usyk can keep his belt and Dubois can fight for all 4 of them. Click. That's what Frank won't be on, for sure, allegedly. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe. Like with the bell, 100%. There's no doubt about it. Some people stop it.